Chicago is known for its great restaurants and even greater chefs. Those chefs are revealing their top secret recipes and teaching you how to make them at home. Tonight, a neighborhood spot, A10 of Hyde Park. Here is Dawn's dish. The chef, John Vermiglio, culinary director for Yoshu Restaurants and the recent addition, A10 of Hyde Park.
Really, we want to portray that sort of sense of neighborhood and family. It's very important to us that people are able to have that comfort while they're sitting here.
A10 specializes in handcrafted pastas, pizza, and even seafood.
Our inspiration for the dishes that come from here sort of stem from the area around southern France and northern Italy, with a little bit of Midwestern mixed in.
Today we're making a butternut squash ravioli with a black Tuscan kale pesto sauce and pine nuts, with kale grown by Cook County jail inmates. What you'll need: butternut squash and the seasonings for it. Don't worry, we'll give you the full recipe online. Kale, garlic, parmesan, toasted pine nuts, and olive oil. First, cook the squash.
So this was roasted in an oven, 375 degrees for about an hour and a half. You're going to get a nice browning on the butternut squash, and it should be completely soft. You can put some ground meat in here if you wanted to make it a bit more substantial.
Mash it together and turn toward your ravioli. John's helpers are Jemiah, Sanaya, and Javion, Chicago Public School students in the Pilot Light Foundation program, a nonprofit started by A10's owner, Matthias Mergis. 15 Chicago chefs go into Chicago Public Schools and teach kids how to eat.
We're empowering children to sort of learn and to start to make their habits now while they're young and impressionable into making healthy choices.
You can buy the dough for the ravioli or make it from scratch. Few people have this machine, so you can knead your dough with a rolling pin and lay it flat. Then scoop the squash onto the dough in circles.
And I like to do about a tablespoon per ravioli.
Next, spread egg yolk around the edges and lay squares of dough over the squash. Cut it out with a cup and make cute little ravioli circles. Next, the pesto sauce. Throw garlic cloves, boiled blanched kale, and olive oil in a blender or mix it by hand.
So you can see it's starting to come together.
Add in the toasted pine nuts, cheese, and fresh lemon and blend.
Better than the store-bought sauce, huh?
I like to think it's better than the store-bought sauce, but I'll let you be the judge.
Boil the ravioli in salted water for a minute, warm up the sauce, and plate.
So that is the butternut squash ravioli with black kale pesto and pine nuts.
Looks great, thank you.
Enjoy.
For the full step, I always have to eat it.
That dramatic music leading up to when you put it in your mouth. I don't know what's going to happen.
It was, I agree. For the full step-by-step recipe and all the measurements, because you certainly need them, log on to myfoxchicago.com and search for Dawn's Dish. By the way, the Pilot Light Foundation that we mentioned, they're having a fundraiser gala this Friday so that they can fund that program that allows all of those chefs, 15 of them, to go into Chicago Public Schools and teach those kids how to eat and cook all that food.
And you were there. How much fun were those kids having, though? I mean, obviously had a great time. Everybody has a great time.
They did.
Making ravioli. I want to make ravioli with Evan after the newscast.
I make a delicious ravioli. I'm going to start a segment.
Do you?
Where, yeah, I do, actually.
Nice.
I'll give you the recipe after the show. We'll talk about it. All right, well, coming up, Chicago.